Just short recap. Today we're going to be building a food marketplace using software. One of us is going to take us through. So a short recap. Yesterday we able to learn what's no code, and no code is just simply no code, and it's just a cloud-based application platform, where you can build softwares without not writing any line of code. And it's actually a platform also you can use to automate processes. It's a drag and drop editors and human language center stuff. So why no code? Because the future of no code is actually no code. And I saw again to Google the name of that guy who said that, and that's Chris Wastrat, the co-founder and former CEO of GitHub, who have make a lot of money through coding repository. Now found that the future is no coding at all. And that's the second line shows the demand for software, because every business is a digital business. Actually need a level of digitalization there. There's a book actually I've read, Digital Economy, and that's what is changing the whole world now. So uh yeah, so I saw this again, five simple no code SaaS ideas for the year 2024 that some of us can look into, is to how to you can use no code to build data dashboard, niche marketplace, tailor sponsored platforms, industry specific CRMs, and also custom AI agents. We're only going to touch on this. Maybe when next we decide to meet, we can build a CRM using a case study. So uh okay. So again, if you after this event, if you still feel that you want to learn more, there's an event coming up end of this month. This one of the best guys in the world of Scotland, who has organized Notes Code here in Scotland and also in the US. Some of us can come to also learn from that. So I think let me see. Are there things I miss up? Okay, I didn't miss anything up. Okay, but Charles, over to you. There's some things I wanted to say. There are some skill set that will help us in no code, and I think I type it somewhere. We need to have a roadmap of. I think maybe we'll discuss that tomorrow. But over to you, brother Charles. Oh, I wanted to show you guys. Find that. Thank God I find it. So, like I Google online today, I saw something about marketplace again, and there are 3 or 4 students. They have this marketplace idea just to put. They created something where students can go there and get book with affordable prices, and that means that what we're actually learning, we can use it either in food perspective or any industry or any market, just to create where people can log into get things and know information about things. So, well, Charles, over to you. I don't want to waste time.
I go. Sorry. Good evening, everybody. My name is Charles once again. So I'll just jump straight into it. I do have a tendency to speak fast. So if I'm too fast, please just call me back, and I would be glad to repeat whatever it is that I said. So earlier, I think we must have gotten an email from from the Creed email account where I I sent a folder that contains data we're going to be using this evening and a bit of an instruction on how to just two web applications that you would need for this particular task. So the first one there is Sorter.io, which is the no-code platform where we'll be building the food marketplace or the food e-commerce store for this class, and also this other one called Airtable, which contains the data that will power our e-commerce website. So if anybody wants to follow along, please, you are free to do so, or you can just watch. Then maybe later we can now replicate the steps. So I'm working under the assumption that everyone has created their account. So I'm just logging into my own software account now. I would do like a small preview of the application we'll be building. So, like I said, this is called it's just like a fake food restaurant. So it's called Foodies Place, and we're working on creating this e-commerce store for them. So let's assume that they've hired us to their manager decides to hire us. Okay, they want to have an online presence, and then we've been hired to create just a small website for them where their customers can order food, and they'll be able to get the other details in their email account, then decide to fulfill that particular order. So this website is broken down into, I'd say like 3 or 4 pages. The food page, which contains a list of the listings of the kind of food that they sell, where their customers can just click on on this categories button to order the product being shown. If I refresh, and we can also use this search bar to just search for a food, and it would filter that. Then we have like an about us page, which just contains like just dummy data about the organization. Then a contact us page, which contains like a form for them to send like inquiries and everything. So for the food one, if you click on a food, you're able to see the full details of that food that you clicked on. Then when you click on open, I changed something on this yesterday, so you can now select that food, then put in your contact details, and you'll be contacted. Ideally, if we're building it for a real organization, we would not be doing order by email. So here we just do add to cart, and they will like what's it called? Check out, then pay with their card, then the restaurant manager will get a notification and every other thing. So if I would, so the data that I sent yesterday would look like this. I hope I still have. So inside of that class file, there's this food.csv file, which contains this same exact information that you're looking at. So if you've created an account and if you want to go through it step by step as I'm going through it, or once you've created an account, at some point you're going to land on this my first workplace. All you need to do is just click on the create button here, then do start from scratch. Then you can click on the add or import button here, then click on CSV. What I sent to us in the CSV file, which is like, it's called the comma separated value file, which is more like the junior brother of Excel. So just click on CSV file, then you would click on browse, then locate where that file is saved on your personal computer. Once you click open, just do upload. I'm going through this step because if you extract the one I sent to you, the images are not there because of the way this system works. When you import data that contains images, it's only going to send you a link, but so I'm going to show you how to relink the images. So just click import, and it will do its thing. Then all things being equal, it should open. So you're going to have like a copy of this. Then for the images part, so I just need to also show us something here. Just double click on any of the image, any of the rows of the image, then just click out. Then click on this arrow, this drop down arrow. We need to change this back to an image field because it came in as a text field. Change this to attachment. Let's see, does this still have that? Yeah, attachment. Once you change that row back to attachment, it should. So we just do convert. Then all those texts will go. Then to add a new image, just click on this plus button. Then click on browse. Then just go to, because at this point I am trying to. This is jollof, so I will look for the image of only jollof. Just click on that. Then once you have done, so you're going to have that image back inside of that box. So you can just repeat that same steps for each of these items on this list. So once that's done, so we can I will leave this for a while, then come back to software, where we would now build our application. So let me just, for the benefit of people that are not here currently, let me sign out and start over again. So because I created my account with Google, so I'll just click. So the whole point of what you're essentially trying to build is something called a web application, which is software that resides on the web and that is accessed via our browser. So we are building the e-commerce store. So I'm going to start now. So the first thing that you do, so like if you remember that I said yesterday that with software you might not need to start start from the scratch, because they have a lot of popular templates for some of the things that people want to build. So you can use all of these templates as a base for the web application that you want to build. But for our case, I would be starting from scratch. So I'll click on new application, then I'll click on this first icon here, which is blank application. Then I do not need any of this template that is giving me. We're going to build ours from the scratch, but this first one will always be there, so you cannot uncheck it, because they want you to just have like something to begin your application with. So I'll click on create application. So I'll quickly run through. So the whole thing about Software is that Software allows you to build your website or application using something called blocks. So blocks are like individual sections of the web application that you are building. I think I have an image somewhere. I want to quickly just explain what some of the popular part of the website that we'll be building. Let me see, quick action markup, and that should mark up on my. I hope we can see my screen. So most websites that you would have all over the world can actually see like all of these individual sections with most of our websites. So you would see this part where you have this logo. That's a lot of times always called your header, and you can see it on the side here. That's why you have this header section here. Then you have something called the hero, which just contains like a big image and like a small, like something that calls the attention of your users to your web application. Then some websites will have something called a carousel, which is like a lot of images that are just sliding across the page. Then somewhere here you have something called the footer, which just contains like a list of extra links, then like a contact address of your organization, social media links, and everything. But for our case, what we'll be needing is we need something called, we'll be using the header section, then this hero part, which is one big image that we're going to put on our own website. And one thing I also want us to see is that if you notice, you will see, you can literally break all of these websites into small individual sections one by one. And for software, each of these individual sections of your website, they are called blocks. So they have blocks for every part of the application. So you're not even doing anything afresh. You're not the one designing your layouts. They've done some pre-built sections that once you just click, you drag, then you customize it to your taste, and that's it. So I'm just going to go back. I'll just close this. Don't save. Then we'll go back to. So you would see, as I'm going to just delete this bit, so we just be left with one of those headers. So you'll see our header section here, which is just this area here. Then you see our hero. Then you see like a section, just other sections that our website can have, and each of these sections have been pre-built for us to just customize to our taste. So let me just delete. So we'll be starting with more or less like a blank slate. So this is the software application. This is the software interface. So on this side, the left-hand side of your page, you have your pages icon, which contains every page of the website. So if I were to open the one that I did earlier, we will notice that there are 4. I can just go back so I can just show you. We could just show you like a bit of that. So if I click on pages, like I said, this has like 5 pages. Every page of the website is just what this section gives to us. So once I click on home, I'm able to like edit what I believe is in my home page, the about us page, etc. Then the theme part here contains settings for how you are going to style the whole of your website, which includes how do you want the text to look like. So the other texts are usually all of these big giants. Look at this about for this place, which are like the big subheadings that would bring attention to your website. I can change this to, let's say, Oswald, and if I do that, you will notice that don't discard. Let me close this so that this will be no. Yeah, I'm going to discard it actually. So when I click on theme, so I can change this to, let's say, Oswald. And you're going to notice that this, and you save. If you save, it becomes permanent. You notice that this font style has changed. Then the other text of your website are your body text. So you can also change their text to match something that you like, something that is legible. Then you can also change the colors and every other thing. So that's what the theme section of this part of this web application does. Our users, so there's some web applications where you want your users to sign in and register. This is where you can configure them. So if say you're building like a proper e-commerce store, you want to keep records of people's orders, how many food they've ordered, and see their history. This is where you will configure all the users of your website, and you can also pull those users information from Airtable. So or you can create like names and contacts and emails of everybody that wants to use your website. Say you're building like an internal application for your company. Obviously, you're not going to have that. You want people to sign up for that. So you can just have like a already saved information for the users of that organization. Then you could just configure them here. And then settings allows you to do the general setting of your website. So because my name is footer, I can change the application name here. Then when it's time for us to test, we will have this link where software will generate a link for us, and I can customize this to be, let me just do through this place. So that will be, once I'm done with my website and I want to publish it, it will be https://software.app. Then favicon icon is, look at this icon. If you look at my side, like your tab bar, this image, that's your favicon icon. So I can change this to the logo, to be the logo. Let me actually see if I can, let me actually do that. So that I have through this place, let me just load that thing. So see, it might change. It should not even it might change. So if I preview, all things being very equal. See, if you check the logo, if you check this side, you see that the image has changed to the logo of my business. And if I remove it, so that's your favicon icon. Say I delete this and I just click on save again. Then for software, each time that you make a change, you have to preview. That means at that point, it's going to build. You can see that the logo has changed again. That's what you do for it's actually called a favorite icon. It's called favorite icon. So that's what you do for general. Then in case you want to remove the software branding. So that's just what you do in this site. Custom is when you are done, you want to create a custom domain, foodisplays.com. This is where you will do that. But that means you must have registered it at a domain registrar before. Namecheap. You can get domain names for as cheap as, who knows, maybe £5 or something. So if I wanted to do foodisplays.com and I search and I register this, if it's available, I should be able to get that for £17. So there is no foodisplays.com. Someone already bought it, but I can get foodisplays.place, which that makes sense. So .org is actually like £7. Like it's like £6 or £7 a year. Should in case you want to do that, then go back to. So data sources is what you're going to use majorly, because this is where we're going to connect our software application to our Airtable. So once we do that here, we'll be able to like pull information from Airtable without doing the connection here. You'll not be able to do that. So you can either use Airtable or you use Google Sheets. Then integration allows you to connect to other external services. For an e-commerce store like this, we most likely will do Stripe. Stripe is a popular payment processor. They're similar to PayPal. So you can, if you want to receive payments, you can configure Stripe in this section. And so I'm just going to jump the other ones because we will not be needing any of these ones for this class. So you would go back to, so this was the application that I created. I'll just, let me delete this so I can just, do I have to delete it? No. Then just jump into it so I can skip that step. So the first thing I'll ask us to do is just change the name. If you come to the, is it the top left corner of the software interface, just change this name to have like, so that you can use it, identify your application amongst other applications that you have. And the reason being that, see, if I come and see this place now, if I've done content application, I'm going to have content application one, I won't know what is which. So I just quickly created this as place. I'll go back into it. So with software, as you're building your web application, so in web development, because there's something called responsiveness. That is a bit of a tongue twister. Responsiveness, so which shows how your website will look on different devices that you have. So if I wanted to see how my website would look on a mobile, on someone using an iPad or a tablet, I can just look at these three icons at the very top of the page. Once I click it, it will automatically resize it. And you see that it will hide my all of the navigation at the top of the page. Then if I click on, I want to see how people that would that people that are using a mobile device to check my website. So you can use all these 4 icons at the top of the interface to just to see, have an idea how you're going to look at. And because it's a no-code platform, all of this is done on the fly. If you were to do this, if you just take your time and Google it, one of the hardest things to do for web developers is actually trying to make sure that your website fits every device. But they've done the heavy lifting for us. Then also you can add a guest collaborator. So in case so maybe you're stuck, you can invite someone to join you on this party on this same page, and that other person will be able to see the same interface and edit with you remotely. You don't have to be in the same room together. So each time you make a change, you can click on the preview button here to see how far you've gone. So if I click on this now, it automatically reloads. I'm able to see my changes. Then once we are done, finally, we want to take this live. I want to convert my work into cool money. Okay, we are done with this. We are done designing for the organization. All you need to do is just click publish. Then if you want to add, like if you had already bought a domain, it's custom domain, and you want to add it, just click here. You add it, then you click publish, and that's all. Your website will be available for everybody to see. Wherever you give the link to, they'll be able to see it. So I would go back to the one we created initially. Yeah, so like I said, so the building block of a web application and website are these things called blocks, which are like pre-built sections of your website. And you can add a new one by just clicking on this plus button, and you would be able to pick out whatever it is that you need at per time. For in software, there are 2 types of blocks. There's one called dynamic blocks, and there's another one called static. Like their description is in the name. Static means information that would not change. So if I come to this now, this is my about us. About here is a starting information. The only time it changes is if I want it to change, if I want to just click and edit it. But for dynamic blocks are blocks where the information they can change based on the data coming in from your external data set. So I can come based on this information that I have here, because this can be dynamic. I can come now today and say that I want to change this to 1056, and it's automatically just change it. So your dynamic blocks will always you use your dynamic blocks when you want to pull in external data from either Google Sheets or Airtable. And static is you're not pulling any information, they're just information that's just for display. So for this now, the first thing we'll do is I would love to change the icon. Let me just do something. I need this to be all users, so that should go away. Yeah. So I will explain what I just did. So the first thing I want to do is I want this to look like what I have here. I want to do my header section where I'll just add in my logo, this links, food, about, and contact us page, and the contact us link. So all I need to do is just click on once you click on the block, let me just add like a small, let me add this static block, and I will show. Let me just pick. So with header, I can pick different style of header that I want. If you want one with a button, early access button, like different styles, even if you want one with additional drop down where you would have, so let me just overwrote it. So you're going to have like drops downs, like when you click on it, wait, where are you? So you can have links with additional drops down. So you can do, so for projects, I can do so you can change the text in that section. I need to see. I was trying to pick which one let me change. I need the new header that is not this static header. So I need one with sub links, header with categories. This was what I was looking for. Yes. So let me delete this. So different header style is in essence. If we preview, you will see that this has a drop down, but it's not showing because that page is too small. So we just had let me add an arrow. so that we're able to see what I'm trying to say. So you can see, so I can also have headers with extra link instead of just the static link on that page. So we'll do, let me delete this and just do what we exactly need. So I will change this. So add your first block. I need a static header, just a very simple thing, nothing too fancy. So I'll pick this first one, this header with links and buttons. And so once you click on a block, you're able to style it on the features page. So I need to add a logo. So the first thing I'll do is click on update image. Then in the folder that I sent, I think I added an image for us to use. So I want to upload it. I need to just click the upload button and I will navigate to my folder. Sorry, any questions so far? I've just been rambling and rambling. But do we have anybody raising up their hand for question?
Not at all.
Hello, bro Charles. I raised up my hand initially. Thanks for this update. It's just I will suggest if you could just move the cursor slowly when you're navigating through the static, dynamic, and all those, so that we can follow. We are also jotting and as well looking at what is going on the screen, so that we don't lose track.
Yeah, Brachas, hold on. Yeah, today is just for us to see how the process, all of that. We expect people to jot. I actually created a slide that people should have notepad to visualize the process. So tomorrow, based on what everybody's going to learn today, we'll not build it. Everybody will build it themselves, while we just guide them. So tomorrow will be everybody will build themselves. But today is to watch how it's being done. We can ask questions: why this, why that, why this, why that.
Okay. So I would slow down my cursor speed so that I can please accommodate everybody. So
can we? Is this going to be online uploaded tonight so that we can go and rewatch it before the practice tomorrow?
Yeah, perfectly. Perfectly. By 9 p.m. it will be on YouTube.
Perfect. Thanks.
Okay, so I want to change my logo. All I need to do is just click on update image on this features tab. So for every block that you have, you're going to have like a features tab, a styles tab where you can change. Padding here is like a bit of space between a space in the header. Then there's top, there's bottom. You can change the background color to match whatever color that you feel like. But before you change it, there's something called color theory, which you need to know, which says, because we are dealing with food, you want color that would invite people in or make them hungry. I think yellow and red is what's used. So the visibility is that, because software allows us to create, allows you to create an application where people can sign in and sign up. You can decide that this particular block will only be seen by people that are logged in or people that are not logged in. So that's what the visibility block does. This visibility tab of a block setting. So let's just go back to features. I need to change this. I'll click on update. My mouse is coming to the left side. Click on update image. Then, because I already uploaded an image, so I will just click on use assets. But if you don't have, you can also, I think they have a collaboration with this website called Pexels, where you can search for image. We're going to use that soon. Should you need illustrations, you can also like pick ready-made illustrations. And asset generator this is where this is your AI. So I can say I need an image of a man in maybe in the Jersey. Should I need that? And I think they're going to use ChatGPT to try and generate that image for us, but we don't need that yet for this section. I'm supposed to in particular. So yeah, well, AI is not this. I said an image in the JSON, so that's one. So I just pick my assets. So because I already selected that now, just click on use assets. You will see automatically he added it to the left side, which is always where most images are in the header section. So if I click on logo, so if you click on this canvas icon or this brush icon near logo, I can increase the text, the size of my logo by just dragging this to maybe something very nice. And to visualize it, you can just click on preview. it would load, reload, and you can see what it's how. Okay, if it's too big, you know that this thing is too big. If it's too small, or you need to just come back to this small icon here, and you do that. Image alt text is called alternate text. This is the image, this is the text that will be shown in case your internet is bad or the user internet is bad and it's not able to load the image. So a lot of you can see that on Instagram and Facebook, when the internet is slow, you see like there's like always like a description of what the image is. So you can just do foodies logo, foodies place logo here. Then that's all. So once you're satisfied with what you have here, you can just, that's it. Then the next thing for us is now to configure all of our links. And I will delete some of the ones that we have here so I can create some from the very scratch. I will remove this button. We don't need the button. And I will delete this too. So to have links to this page, all you need to do just come to you're under the features section. So it's home, but for us, we just want to put food, and this can be anything that you think of, really. So once you've done that, and if you also want to style this, style the text, you just click on that same icon that we had there. Then you will change your font family. Font family is what kind of font family that you want to use for. Is it Calibri? Is it Times New Roman? But I'm a huge fan of this called Open Sans. So the font weight is how thick, which is how do you want it to be bold or not. So depending on what you want, I think semi-bold is good. Let's go for bold. Then to increase the text size, just look at this slider here. Just take it to whatever value that you think is okay. Then in case you want to change its color, you change the color by just clicking on this, and it will bring out this color picker. Just select the color that you want, and it's automatically apply that. We are sticking with black. So this is called an X value, which is just a series of 6 numbers that represent in colors. So if I change that, that goes this. I'm just going to return this back to what it was before. No, don't do that. I forgot what it was before. Right? So yeah, let's go with the flow. So let's just keep that color. Then so if you want to now, because for when you remember when I did food, the first demo, when I click on About Us, it leads me to the About Us page. So to configure that action, this is where you just click on Add Action, and that action will tell you, okay, what do you want to do? I want you to open a new page. I want you to scroll to a section. I want you to open an external URL. Maybe I want to link this to when you click on this link, you should take them to google.com, things like that. So that's where you configure that. But because we only have just one page yet, we'll come back to this. So one thing that I do not like that they've done is that I cannot duplicate, because that means if I want to do this same thing, I have to add a new one. So let's just add a new one. I feel they should have made the button where you can just click on this and duplicate it. Nobody has time to be doing multiple things. So we just click About. So I'm adding the About. Then if I want to add a new link, I need the last thing there on my demo was Contact. So you will see that most of the supplements that I'm adding actually picked the style of the first one that I configured. And once you're done here, that's it, really. For this, we are more or less done with your header. Then the next thing for us is to add the hero section. So if you go back to full, where are you?
Brother Charles,
Yes, sir.
one of the comments is saying you should increase your zoom, just maybe so that people can see it. I think the people can also do it on their phone as well. But in case you can do that,
okay, I'll do that now. I should increase the size of my control. Okay, can we see better now?
I think it's better.
I'm not looking at the comments, sorry. So the next thing is for us to, I wanted to show you, so this part where we have these images, this will be my hero section. So I need to just hero block or hero section. So I want to add a new block, and this image would not change. It's going to be there till I decide, okay, I don't like that again. Let me change it. So it's going to be a static image. I'm not pulling this image from Airtable or Google Sheets. So to add a new block, you just click on this block icon. Then we are going back to static on the right-hand side. Then we'll pick on hero. Depending on whatever style of hero that you want, whether you want one with okay, people should just be able to sign up for it or to get on the what's the name of this first thing on a waiting list and etc. So you can pick any really, because once we are done with this, we're going to delete everything from here to do what we want. So this is my hero section. So I just need to, for this particular design, I want to delete, I'm going to delete everything here. I'll just be left with that simple, that plain block so that I can add my image to it. So the same way you can configure, we configured all of this, you can also configure every section of this. So the first thing is I want to configure this big, say you want to configure this big text, which is your headline text. You just need to come to this section here and change this to who this place is the best. If that is what you want as your, want it to be the tag, then you can also change this text, this to whatever it is that you want. And as you're typing it is changing. The same way, anytime you see this icon here, I think you can also use AI to generate too. So anytime you see this icon, just know that you can style this thing to your taste as much as you like it. Like you can change anything that you want to do, anything that you want to just change. Padding is the amount of space at the top of this text. Then it will increase it. Padding should be, that's the space in between, but it's going to give it, like, you're going to make it look as if you are adjusting the space at the top or space at the bottom, depending on what you want. Like I said, I'm going to just delete it. I do not need it actually, so I will delete everything here. I just need a plain hero. Then I can also swap the image position to, I want it to be on the left, I want it to be on the right, you want it at the top, you want it at the bottom. If this is the kind of hero that you want, but would delete, we are not going to use that. Then the same way we changed, what's it called? The same way we changed our logo, I can also change this too by just clicking on this. This is where illustrations are actually important. So you can pick a different illustration to replace, and it's already replaced, but we don't need it. So we're going to just delete it. And we are left with this simple button that people can click if we have configured it. We also don't need it, so I will just click on delete here. And if I want to add a new button, just click on add button, and you're going to have a new one. You can style it, we can give it the text that you want. You can configure what you want that button to do when it is pressed. So the choice is yours, but we don't need it, so we'll change that. But all we need now is to go to image, we go to background image. I need a background image for it. I'm just going to click on add image. Then I will search for an image inside of my stock photos. Let us pick in food. Then whatever comes up, my internet seems to be crawling, which is sad. So we just click use asset, and that's it. That's almost like the one I chose earlier. No, we can't use that. Let's pick something else. No. Okay, let's pick this. So the choice is yours. Whatever image that you want. If you want to use the one I used, if you have the time, you can just search through. And we are done with this, our hero section, because I just want it to just be a simple background image. I don't want any other thing on it. So then once I click preview, I can see that okay, it has added it. Though because we've not configured any of this, I want us to do the home page first before we start to configure every other page. Then we can now come back. So once you're done now, that's it. So the next thing for us is, so we're getting into the section where we need to connect with Airtable, so we can pull in external data. So I'll click on this. Sir?
Let's ask them, are they following?
Okay, please. Sorry, are people following?
Yeah, we have, but the screen, we cannot see half of what you're doing because the screen is too big.
Okay. Let me do something. The screen is too big. Okay, give me 1 minute. Let me disconnect my. To see me currently because my
yeah, it's better. It's better now.
It's better now, so you can see now. Okay.
You can see the dynamic and static section.
Yes.
No, it's gone again.
No, can you see now?
Yes, we can now.
Okay, so I clicked out of that. That's why it went away.
Okay.
So we're not going to the part where we need to now pull in data from Airtable. So we just come to soft. So we now need one of our dynamic blocks, because the next block I need is one that will fetch me information from that. So I need to just click add block. Then we're coming to the dynamic block section. So if you check the example that I had earlier, we notice that I want the food list to come in this form where it's like 3 images placed beside the file. I want them to come in as a grid, like in a grid-like form. So to implement this, you go back to your dynamic blocks. We are looking for something called a list, because it's a list of items. We're looking for a block that will give us like all of these items in a defined form. So depending on how the Lord is ministering to you, you can have one with a list with horizontal cards. You can have a list with vertical cards where you now have like a search bar on the left, or you have like you want it to come in the table form, or then list with details. We don't need that yet. We'll be using this when we want to click the information, like when we let our users click and they will see more information about they added a new one. That's wonderful. Let's try and use this. So I want this to come in the grid. Don't let me shoot myself in the foot. Yeah, let's try it. There's no harm. So to use this grid, I need to just click the plus icon, and you will see automatically it generates you will see a representation of what it's going to look like when you're done configuring it. Then now this is where we need to now connect to our database. Do you have any question before I go forward? Any question before I move forward, Sir, Mars, Bros, Sis? Sorry, I can't see the chat. If someone is raising their hand, so Brother Show.
Yeah, I'm watching the chat. Don't worry.
No question. Okay.
Yeah.
So we need to now configure our data source. So to do that, all you need to just come is click. So the first, when you click most of the dynamic blocks, they will usually have these 5 sections where this first tab is the source tab, where you tell it, I need to go and bring in my data from Google Excel, Google Sheets, or Airtable. Then the content is how you're not going to, you will not be able to do anything with the content here, because this tool would not work because we currently do not have the data to pull in from. So let me just start by, so I'm working under the assumption that you already have Airtable set up, you're fine with that, and you have all the data they're populated. So what we'll do is that let me just add one more image here so that we can have like, what did I pick? That's fried chicken. Internet run fast. Yes. So let's just do 3 so that I can have more images to work with. So we just text and text and text and text. So let's go back to software. So like I said, so anytime you pick a dynamic block, you would be able to connect your data source to it. So the first thing we'll do is just click on this button, select data source. Because of my Airtable account, I think the first time we connect it, this will always come up. But if you don't have it, like the processes are the same really. So I'll click on Airtable. Then it goes into my Airtable account and fetches all of my technically sheets that I have, or their core bases in Airtable, which is more like a representation of different kind of data that you have. So because I'm working with, let me change this. This should be who this. place so that you can see. Then just to make that load, so I can just refresh the whole page. So go back to, to edit a block. So I forgot to mention something. So you can delete a block by just, when you click on the block on the left-hand side, you're able to see this small pop-up. So you can move a block up, you can duplicate it, then you can send this block to a different page. Then you can just add notes, maybe for, okay, just remind you what this is doing, then hide it. So we are not doing any of those. We just click out, select data source. I need Airtable to be my source of data. You will notice that it has already changed from food association to food displays because of the way they did it. Everything is pam instant. Then click food displays. Imported table. What the? Oh, so let's also rename our table to be food items. So it's just, I'm only renaming just to let us see some of the things that you can do, but you don't have to rename it if you understand where your data is coming from. So once I click on this again, it comes to select data source, Airtable. So food displays is my base. Then you can see food items. Once I do food items, then it will ask you what kind of grid, what kind of view do you want? Then I just need the grid view. Just was my very first. So nice. If you notice, you notice that we already have, like, it's already picking the names of all the food that we have. As I was changing it, it's like it's mapping them automatically. I don't have to do any other thing else. Like, you notice that this is jollof rice and beans. If I come to jollof rice and beans and just change this to maybe capital letter B, like everything is literally almost instant. Then when you reload this, really, you don't have to actually reload it. Because my data, we still connect to my data source, you notice that it has changed that. Then, so this conditional filter will let you know, you can say, I only want you to show food that are still in stock or not, but so I can just say, add a condition, select field. So each time that you pull in data from Airtable or Google Sheets, your fields are equal to the names of each of the column names in your data. So you see name, category, price, description, and image. You are going to need all of this because you will need them. You need to know what each column stands for so that you can map them correctly to your list items. So because now look at it, my food item, I need it to only show me food whose status is or contains, just say is. That would be enter custom value. That should be, what did I even write there? In stock. Then food that are not in stock, they should not be shown actually. So if I should be able to map this to, let's say this should be, I missed something, it should be out of stock here. But that's what you can do with that. Then when what you can, when we don't have any results, what should this field show? That's what this means. When the filter returns no result, or when you're trying to filter, what should be, do you want to hide the entire block, or should just an empty message that, okay, I cannot find anything? So how many items do you want them to be able to sort by? Select sort by default, what should be the sorting? You can select description by A to Z, image by A to Z, then the number of items per page. Let's just drop this down to say 6. So it shows 6 items originally. Then automatically, once you move past it will add this see more button, which is done automatically for you. Then empty state is when you don't have anything, when you're trying to search and it returns nothing. That's what should be shown. Then we now come down to content. This is actually where it's a bit important. So our filters are these 2 icons that we want our user to be able to filter these products by. So you can configure as multiple filters as you want, but we just need only one. Want to be able to configure our filters by categories of food. I remember that in our, what's it called? In our data sets, we already have a category column where the categories are rice, chicken, and burgers. So that is what this filter is. So when we preview, I only want you to show, okay, I only want to see food that are rice or something. So you can just change this. So once you click on that filter, you can change the name, just say category, because that is what is in our data set. Then I want you to filter by category. You can also say filter by name, but we're doing filter by category. So you will not come to here. You can pick what column that you want to filter by, because you're only filtering by category. I think the system is smart enough to know that category is what we want to do. That's why it's categories pre-selected by default. You can do it by image, whatever works, whatever makes sense, you can do that. So yeah, and by default, how do you want it to be sorted, A to Z, things like that. The mobile filter settings, what is there? So we do not need any of those things. But one thing that also needs to configure is the search bar, which is this. So we need to map our content actually. So if we don't have any other thing. So now if you come to item fields relates to each individual block, each individual columns, each individual blocks like this. I want to now map all of this to the data inside of my Airtable. So that's where item fields will come in. So they already did cover image, but we don't have a cover image. So we just click on that and type. We don't even need this really. Is there like an image field? Yeah, so good. So we don't need that. So we just want an image. Let's do the image first. Once I click on image, it will load like a default image for it. Then I can come to where, so that's the image. Then the content is what I want to map my image into automatically to know that I have images inside of my, what's it called? Inside of my data set. I'm going to change this. I don't like how this is. So I will swap this around no, let's just go with it, actually. No problem. It's almost the same. The system is almost the same. So content, we don't need the cover image. We should actually do, let me see, can I map this to, yeah. So if I say should just show it again and select it to image, it should, yeah. So we can actually use that. We can use that for our image field. So cover image, depending on the block style. So whatever it is that, so what's important is you map it to the right field inside of Airtable. So same thing for, look at this fried chicken. So once I'm done with that, just click on this icon. Then you can also style, I don't know how you want to, whatever it is that you want to style and things like that by clicking on this small icon there. Then category is literally on, if you look at the images, each of these individual items, you have like small boxes where it's showing the category. So that's already mapped to our category field. But one thing that is missing here is we do not have the price. So I want also configure price. So let's just add a new, let me delete this. I don't need a, so I also delete this too, because I really don't think we need that extra. So image there. So we want to configure the price of each of these individual item. So you click on the add field icon. It's a text field because it's just price. It's just a simple ABC text. So you click on text. Then what do I want you to map to? I want you to map to price. Automatically you will see that we already added the price, and each of these price corresponds to what's inside of our Airtable account. Then the label there is, okay, I want people to know that this thing is the price field. I'll just do price. And that's it, really. And you see you see by itself, it knows that, okay, we don't have images for yam and egg and fries, and just added this default blank image to it. So if you want to now preview, if I click on preview, see, 6 images, 6 items. If I come to, let's do munchies box, let's do yam fries. Let me add an image for yam fries so that we can see that that's automatic and I'm not even doing any other thing at the back to let that work. So let's just pick yam and update. So as you're making changes, if you refresh this, you should have yam fries show up automatically. So that's just how this works. Really, like nothing. So your content field is where you map each individual item. So let's say hypothetically, I want to map description again. It's a text field. You can add one heading to which just how big your text would look. If you want to map an email field, want to map a URL, depending on what you want. So let's just do text. Say that I want to add a description field to load the description of each of those food, which we don't. I don't think we actually do need, but just to show us. So I've changed the label. You see that the label is just here. Then the system is smart enough to just pick this. It's adding like a default description. If I click on this, it will go and pick the description from this description field. So that's what I'm doing now. I am mapping each of the items, on each individual image to the columns in my Airtable account. Do you have any question before I proceed? No, we don't. So I can review again. And yeah, so this is more or less very done as it is. I can leave it the way it is now. And so one thing that we also need to do is, so look at the category. So let me just filter by category. So if I want to filter by rice, it only show me food that matches this category. So I want to do yam. All of these things was done for us by literally automatically. There's this website in Nigeria called Eden Life, which is literally what they do. So yeah, all what these guys have like a full business for. We're actually just doing it like this is a big organization. Like all what they've done here is what we are doing without writing a single line of code. And this company has like God knows the number of developers that they have back home in Nigeria. But we're just doing it like under 1 hour. We've done it. So one other thing that we're going to need to do, I want to delete this add record, this button here, because I do not need it on this page. Then I'll go to, so I can, if you want the search bar, just click on the search bar here. It will either show that or it will not show it. Then actions. So on actions, that's where you can configure what, maybe like a button that would be, if you want to do like, say you are developing an internal application, you want people to add more food. That's where you configure what this would do, but we don't need this. I'll just click here and delete it. And that button disappears. But we want to, so yeah, perfect. So I'll come back to this page, but we need let's create a new page called the details page. We want such that when people click on the food item, they're able to see the details of that food. So we come down to pages. So pages is where you create more web pages for your application as you proceed. So we come down to pages. I want to create a new page. I would click on settings. You can either create a new page by just clicking on add a new page. I add this new page button, or you say duplicate. I want to duplicate it because I don't want to start to create all of this from the beginning again. So I will just come to pages, click here and say duplicate this page. It gives me an exact copy of that same page. If you click on these three icons and click on settings, you're able to configure what that page will look like. So this will be my food details page. So I want to create a page where once people click on the food items, they're able to see the food details and add like a small button to it. Now this will be the URL. Let's just do food details, or just do details really. Then for the end of this class, we just click on save, and that is done. So we now have 2 pages for our web application, but you will not be able to go to this directly until you click on a food icon. So we are not going to go back to, so before we do that, so I'm on this page, food details page. I do not need this block, so I'm just going to delete it. Then I want to add something called a list details page, which is just a page that shows up the details of of an item in the list. So I would click on add block. I'm still going to my dynamic. So I need a dynamic block now. So if what you need is inside of these suggested blocks, I think the system would, based on what you're doing, will be suggest what you need next. But a lot of time, I think it's just the most commonly used blocks. But so we just come down to list details. So what kind of list details do you want? Do you want this list detail in this particular form, or just want this simple one? or you want one that has like this large image, or you want one that has like you are going to this contains like a video. We'll just go with this. So I need a list details page with side image, and that's it. So the same thing that we did when we're configuring our food items page, you select data source, Airtable. The same thing, we select our base, which is food displays, and the table that we need to pull information from. The first thing it does is it will start to try and start to map, sees if it can map some fields automatically, and see it has already mapped those fields for us. So the same process that you went through when you were doing, so also you can also add a condition, only show this if it's in stock or out of stock. So go to the content tab. The system has already automatically mapped our image field. It has mapped the name field, but it wasn't able to map the, our description field. So we just map that ourselves. We'll say, I need a text. What do I need? I need description. It would refill that information there for us. So it has already done the price field for us too. So we don't need to do any other thing here, really. So we now need to go back to our home page, which contains the list of the items. Any question? Am I too fast? I know I'm too fast, but I hope I'm not too fast. Please, if you have any question, just raise your hand and Brashe will let me know. So now what we now want to configure is we want to make it such that when we click on any of the items here, it will open the details page for us. And that is where we now come to the Actions tab. You will see here, one of the third option here says define what happens when the user clicks on an item, and the action is there is what you want to use. The reason why I went back to I went back to design our details page. That's what I did. So we just click on open details page. It will know, okay, what page should I go for? He already knew that I will need the details page. I just click this. How do I open it? Do I open it in the same tab? Do I open it in a new tab? Or do I overlay it in something called a modal? So we just do same tab. We'll practicalize this. So let's just take this for a spin. I'll preview. So I'm on the home page. If I click on rice and beans, we should see rice and beans and rice here. If I go back and I click on fried chicken, all I'm still going to see is fried chicken, which is literally what these people have here. So we click on, just that one is a bit different though, but the idea is the same. But so what they have here is called something called a model, which we also can do in Fooda. I said in Fooda, in Softer. So we also can do that in Softer. So it's just as you're clicking it, see, I'm literally not a single line of code coming from the software. This is actually quite nice. So we want to open it in like a modal. So let's just do like a modal type. You want it on the left hand side. So let me just show you what that modal is. So if I click on preview, then I click on this, what does it do? It just shows it up on the side. But this is here, which is nice. Shows on the side. I want it like, let's say full page. And I click on preview. Then oh, that's a different thing I am on. So see, exactly the way something that they have here is what we just did with 2 clicks. Do you have any question? If I go to the next bit. No question, I presume. So yeah, so and if you also want to see, if you want to check how this web will look like on the tablet or any device with this form factor, this is how. So you can just click and just cycle through all the devices that are available for us to use. So we'll close this. Then we'll now create the next page. I'm skipping some parts, but the basics of what I did in the one I demoed almost here. So I need a new page where people can now send me. They can, okay, I want rice and beans. I want fried rice. I want to prepare a burger. Okay, let me just, so can you please take my order? So I will just, the same thing I did, I will click on duplicate. I do not want to start creating it afresh. Then I'll come to settings to So this will be general. I want it to be my order page so that I can identify it among the list of pages that I have. Then order. So first thing first, we'll we'll delete this. So to capture our order, we need something like a simple form where people can type in their name, their phone number, their email address, and the food that they want, and the quantity that they want it. So we are going to need a dynamic block that contains a form in it. So we'll click on add block. They will come to dynamic block. We'll just scroll down to form. Now, there are different forms. So in case you're building like a contact us page, you can use, I want to show your address, you can use this contact form in Google Maps. You want to do customizable form, you can also use this, but I'll just pick the sales form with labels. If I click on that, it adds the block. Then the same thing that we did for every other page, we can style the content on that page. So we'll do order your food using the form order your food. So just order your food. Then I want to change this small text and say order your food using the form order your food using the form below. So you can add a background image to this page if you so wish. Who knows if that's the kind of design that you want, please. Then now we want to style. So the first thing that we'll do, we'll leave this alone. I'll come back to this, but let's just take, so we want this form to ask people for, let me see, their name, their email address, their phone number, their address, and the quantity of food that they want. So we would now come to, no, you have to select your data source first. So the same way you're picking in data from, what's it called, from Airtable, you can also send data back to Airtable. So it's a bit bi-directional. You can pick data from Airtable and also send data to Airtable. But for the benefit of this class, let's just do the easiest one. So we just say this thing should go whenever they order, just go to our email address, and I will just add my email address here. So when people complete this form, it's going to send it to my email address or the email address of who your customer is. So the first thing is first name, but we do not need first name. We need their full name. So just if you click on the icon, we need a text field. It's going to map to, so instead of our email address, I want to know what their name is. So I'm going to just say this should map to name field, and I'll change this to full name. Then placeholder is the small text inside of the text that allows them to know, okay, in what format it will be. So I'll just say last name first. Then do I want to make it required or not? Required means that you must complete that you must complete this input. So I just do required. If I want to say it should not be required, I will turn this off. I want it to be required. Yes, let's just keep it there. My email field, the same thing. I'll choose input type email, map to email. Then label there is email address. Then placeholder, I can just say example is email@provider.com. So it's just the small text inside of the text field. So it's also a required field. The same thing with phone number. It's just the phone number field. It maps the phone inside of my email address. My phone number, I want them to add in the country code. I just do +44, then XXX. So that person knows that they need to add the country code to it. It's a required field. Then company, I don't need company. So I just delete. Company size, I don't need that too. Message, I can say, I can put, because this is the UK, you can make this to be allergies. Then just say enter your allergies here. The allergies, yes, allergies in there. So it's also a required field. So that's that. But we need two more. One of them includes the food that I want them to order. So we'll click on add field. So you can either say it should be a text field. So as you are designing it, you can move all of these things above each other. So I want to move this to I missed my big screen. So I want to move this to the very top of the page. the very top of the form, so that it's the first one that comes in. So it's already in the second one now. So I'm going to move it above. So this icon there will allow you to move, drag and drop, move things. But so I don't want this to be text. So I want to provide a list of the food that I have on this website. I'll just make that to be, you're going to use a drop down. Then this should map to food. Then a drop down is, I'm going to show you what the drop down is. So a drop down is just, so I'll just show you. So all the food items that we have here, so I will just paste this. I wish there was a way, there could actually be a way to sync this thing. Yeah. So once you put one, you press in enter, then, so let me just add one, let me just add two more. Let's say fried chicken. Then this. Well, I do not want them to allow, I don't want them to select multiple, so I'll just keep this as it is. But if I wanted to do multiple options, I can toggle this button and they will select more than one, but I only just need one. The label here will be select food. And now I think we can just stop this here. So this is then, I want to change the submit buttons label. So I just want that to be, what's it called? Submit inquiry. That should be place order. And that's it. Then what message do you want to show when the form is submitted? Thanks for getting in touch. One of our team members, one of our team members would be in contact soon. So that's the message that they would see once they submit the form. Then action is, you can say that once they submit the form, you want it to load, maybe go back to the food page or don't do anything. So I want to say once you submit, it should go back to the home page. And that's it. So we would now preview. So I'll come back to the home page, start the preview from the home page and click on. So as I'm previewing, most of the time, what software will do, this is the old one. So if I have it open, you'll be able to see that on the preview screen to tell you that, okay, there are changes to be made. But let's just
the link was not the correct one. We're now waiting. Now how do we now get to correct the
okay, can that person just mute themselves? So I'm starting the preview again. So preview. So let's say I want to search for, I need a plate of burger. I can just do burger and it would filter. Okay, so we didn't configure this. Let's go back to this. I didn't configure this search. So I'll click on this. Then so search bar, yes, I wanted to search for food. I didn't configure that part. That's why I was able to search. So I want to be able to search by the name of the food that they want. So once I do that, let me shut this man down and preview again. Then search for food. I want them to, let's say, just want to search for burger. All things being equal, it will only return result that matches burger. If I want to say rice and beans. If I just do and anything that has and in it, it will return it. So we're just doing jollof rice. So this loads. So yes, I missed one step. So sorry, I'm going to go back. So I'm going to go back to the details page. So on this details page, I want to add a button here that will tell them click and order this food. So I'll come to actions. So under actions, I can now do add item button. So I want you to scroll to that page that we created for the order. Then, so it's going to, so we are picking up our form. So that's the order form 1, because that's why I named each of my pages. The hero one is this hero icon on the other page. Then the form one there is the form icon. So I just click on go to that. It should open it in the same tab ideally. So that's, you can see that there's a button on this page. So let's change the label to order. Yeah. So we come to our home page. Then we run the preview again. Then so if I click on rice and beans, Yeah, so I want you to order it. I want to order rice and beans. I would select rice and beans as the food that I want to order. My name is Charles. Then my email address, just click this so that you don't have to type. Add my phone number. Then my allergy is seafoods. Then if I click on place order, that should go. So what the email is required. Yeah, I actually just got the email address, that email in my email, but it did not behave the way I wanted it to behave. I want a text here that shows that you've gone through, but that's by the way. But if I were to check my email address now, see the two forms that I filled, I have the email address right inside of my inbox. The message that I typed in, I want rice and beans, this is my name, and this is my email address, then so, and my phone number. So that's what I want to show. I'm going to go back to pages. Something didn't work the way I wanted it to work. So I think this is on form submit open page. Let me just do nothing currently. Because I want this message to show. You don't preview. So my own page. I want to try another fried chicken this time when I do order. So let's assume that's not so fried chicken. Yes, fried chicken. My first name and last name. And that's my phone. I just do my allergies are seafoods, allergy. I just click placeholder. So this is what I wanted to show. Thank you for getting in touch. One of our team members will be in contact soon. And the network being good, everything working well. So I already have the email. I have the email already. So this is it. Food, fried chicken. My name is Charles Adeneji. The message there is seafood allergies. Somebody can just pick it up. So and I think this is where we would. Do you have any question? That's not essentially that's just a very simple web application, but this can be expanded to anything. Instead of selling foods, you can begin to if we are into something like this, we can books, shoes, the our options are endless. And if you want to accept payment directly, all you need to do is come to integration and integrate Stripe checkout, so that when they click on that order button, instead of showing them the form, it takes them to like the page where they will enter their card details and everything. Then you get a payment, then you fulfill the order. So that is me for now.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you so much. So yeah, let's just have only 2 minutes for questions. So and we need to have idea of I think maybe let me just share. Okay. How do we go? Okay, can we have questions? Yeah, it's 1 hour, right? But we shouldn't worry. I will send the video in the next 1 hour now to our WhatsApp group and our email address so that we can watch. Then tomorrow, we all of us, those people that are going to be around, we're able to build it just as way Brother Charles did it, so that we can have it. And just like what Brother Charles said, we can just duplicate this idea to not only to food alone, to any business that we want to do. I may also say that this thing that we're learning, we can use as a proof for pitching. You can use this to test run to for some grant funding, Scottish Enterprise, Innovate UK. But there has to be innovative stuff about it. That's we have to see how you can target all of those stuff. You can use this to win. There's no limit to what someone can. I think I show. Maybe, Bracha, let me share my slide.
That's fine.
Let me just share. Mm, I think it's coming. I think it's still coming. So So why is loading? So we see all of us tomorrow by 12. Exactly by 12, we're going to start. So we have a place that we call the hub in the church at the center. So we already exist. We replace. Yeah. Okay.
Sure.
So we start.
Online
Yep.
tomorrow for us that are far from Aberdeen.
We have to. But yeah, we have to look at that because that will be a very straining. But we'll look at possibility. But we actually the idea is to make it physical because online, the online actually is one way stuff. We really want people to build it. Like we have close to 13 people here, or 7. Are we sure that people are really? We have to resume here.
I
But we
follow
look.
you.
So like I saw this online today. 4 students in the University of Strathclyde, they built something on marketplace. I think they still have an idea, not even no, I've not built anything, and they was able to win maybe £2,000. So what we have learned, some of us can have any idea, look at problems facing Scotland in one sector and create a marketplace. There's one guy that I interviewed in Startup Grind. He built something mini Amazon. I don't know what they call that. Mini Amazon. Okay, it's marketplace. He built a marketplace for he capture all the local market in Elon. Is it Elon now or Iveruri? He capture all the local market, whether the pubs, whether fish businesses, and put all of them on marketplace. I mustn't lie to you, he was part of people sent to Web Summit in where now? I've forgotten the place in Europe. As part, no, that's what he did. He just packed all because I was on the interview that guy in Startup Grind there in Aberdeen. So we keep saying that there's the ideas actually, whether we're in Elon, whether we're in Stone Level, we can package all those guys that are doing marketing and put them on one platform and say this is there. And some of them can even be paying us for them to sign on our website, all of that. So let's see things to it. So there's something that I just want us to also to see that can also help us. What we need actually, I don't know whether Baracha has touched on that. We need a roadmap when we're using this node code. You need to have a roadmap, either a picture in mind. We need to be able to document our processes. We need to be able to think about the users of those discard tempo. That's why Barachas was going all around looking at what people may actually ask. We need to learn this tool. It's not just one day just stuff. We need to learn this tool. We also need to think logically. What will happen? We need to think abstractly, imagine, visualize all the. We need to think systematic. Then we need to like design. Like we need to picture people that have clear brandness. We need to put that in perspective. We need to be able to relate with the data. I think Brother Charles kept working with the data that it's just that what you put in is what you're going to get. So we need to work on that. So um we will send email out tomorrow. We cater for 20 people tomorrow. We want us to come on time so that we leave on time. So any question you have tomorrow, so come tomorrow, bring your laptop. We don't I think center does, I don't know whether center have internet, but come with your own internet, come with a notepad where there'll be food for us to eat, but let's just come on time so that we can leave on time. So any question before we go? If there are no questions, Brother Charles, thanks for tonight.
So,
We meet
so,
tomorrow by 12.
sure.
Okay. Yep.
I think this tool is very versatile, and I'm not sure how we can maybe expand the session or later on to include teenagers, because I can see what they can come up with if they have exposure to this tool. So maybe
Yeah.
we need